Oh, that's how we do it. Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello. What's good, everybody? Good to see everybody. Thanks for being out here. You already know we wrapped up the old Cobra Kai last week, so now it's time to jump into the next one, and the next one is Wandavision. Got the world just set on fire, and speaking of fire, we brought in a very special guest today. What's up? We got the one, the only, AK Lord Commander. What's up, girl?
what it do, man? What it do? I am very happy to be here. This was not planned. People, DJ just hit me up like a half hour ago, like, "Hey, yo, I'm doing things. You want to come?" And I was like, "Of course, my brother, I am here." So we doing this. We doing this. The WandaVision has been like all of the tea for the past what episode we on, like 6, 7,
8.
good past month, yeah, good past month and a half. 2 months we've been on the WandaVision, and it has been crazy.
Unbelievable.
There's some things happening the way they did it. First of all, it was unique as hell because we've all seen sitcoms that do, like, everybody does a little quirk that has a musical episode every once in a while, or they do a little flashback where they give homage to an older TV show. But what Wanda rapped, I think the only thing they didn't do was sing. They packed all of the heavy hitting old school sitcoms in one punch. And I'll be honest, I didn't like some of the episodes only because they didn't give me as much information as I wanted. That's the only reason. It wasn't because of the format. The format is clever as shit. And the way they're doing it, weaving all these old sitcoms in, and with the old school laugh tracks and the black and white. And they brought everything into a T, and it was like all of my childhood. It was a good hit, like Stranger Things. They did the thing, and they did it the right way. So I'm here for it.
Oh man, I can't
Google
wait.
deleted your message, JD. What?
Yeah, what's going on with that, JD? I don't know what's going on with Google.
YouTube don't be wanting us to be great out here sometimes. Seriously, like I've seen that. You're not the first person that said that in one of the streams that I've been in. I don't know how it works or what keywords they might look for, but yeah, the YouTube, like what's the damn thing's name? What was it? Streambot or Nightbot or some shit will just cancel shit automatically before the moderators or anybody even gets see. And JD's a moderator, so how the fuck you deleting that comment?
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, it's weird the way they be trying to run shit on YouTube nowadays.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It is ridiculous. And I noticed for some reason, a lot of times right out of the gate, we get this little stutter and it gets a little staticky and doesn't have that smooth. And
yeah,
like StreamYard will buffer that out like in the next day or two. But
it's really weird.
Man,
it looks really weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it always does that. Like,
JD just sent me the screenshot. Yeah, he said message deleted by Google moderator team. Who the fuck is even watching us on the Google moderator team, and for what?
Yeah, that is ridiculous. What are they even trying to block out now?
Exactly. What are you trying to block out on a stream that's titled WandaVision?
Yeah, that's insane. And what is it saying here? Like there's an actual bot coming in. JD.
No, it's
message
it's
deleted.
not.
Oh, I see down there. Yeah, message deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up. I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know if, and I'm assuming he didn't say anything wrong or nothing that either one of us would have thought needed to be deleted.
How are they going to moderate one of my mods? How are they going to moderate a mod? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. See, yeah, Celebrity Bikini, he said it. They do that sometimes. There's some pretty petty comments. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, what are the trigger words that make you do that dumb shit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look, see, he just called them a dick, but they didn't delete that shit.
Right?
So,
freedom of speech.
What exactly are your rules now, YouTube? First, it's a damn algorithm. Now you censoring us without any damn reason. Come on, man, cut it out. That's why motherfuckers are going to Twitch.
That's ridiculous. What's up, Iron Throne? I see you out there. We got my brother JD the Dragon out there. We got Celebrity Bikini, my man Jake Cruz. I see you. What's good? Glad you're out there.
Yeah, Jake, I don't appreciate you coming in with the new name and not telling me who you are, though, sir. I only knew it was you because DJ told me. I was like, hold on, who the hell is this person saying my name like he know me and whatnot in the chats? And of course, yeah, you do know me, damn it. Announce yourself.
Oh, it's all family over here. That's just how we get down.
Always, man, always. This is what family does. We joke with each other like that. That's what it do.
Oh man! Just speaking of joking, how's WandaVision? I mean, it got you feeling some kind of way. Did you like the last episode? Did you like how they started off with the story? Witch trials gave us some amazing answers. What was what?
I liked it a lot. Actually, can I play something real quick?
What's that?
I'm sure you've probably heard it because you be in the DJ world, and I know that it'll be okay to play it because I have a message from the man, the homie himself, that put it together. Yeah. That gave me permission to play it on one of my streams. I haven't done it yet, but I can do it here.
I'm gonna do it there next time. So it's all good. I can play whatever, pretty much.
Hold on 1 second. Let me find it.
While she's doing that, we are going to be going in tonight. There's going to give myself a couple props. You already know we got a few things posted before we heard or saw anybody else talk about it. Got that up a couple weeks ago, talking about they up there making visions and a few other things. So yeah, we've been calling some things right, and things seem to be going pretty much like we thought. I can't wait to get on here. We haven't, like I said, we've been doing the Cobra Kai. I haven't been doing this, but yeah, I made sure to get up there and get some of my postings up there before the episodes came out. So like I said, like that was the first thing I said. Like right after that episode got posted, episode 4, I was like. They glossed over it all smooth and kind of, had it quiet. But I was like, didn't he just say he was making visions? Like, did he not just let us know that? Was that not his exact?
Yo, I got a theory, and I was gonna wait and do a theory vid with Lauren because me and her been streaming our reactions for the whole season. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm gonna say it in that stream too, but I'm putting it down on your channel first. I am pretty sure, or I think the breadcrumbs are there at the very least, that it's not even just about having vision. Hayward just wants a powerful weapon. This is like our introduction to the Sentinels from the X-Men Mach 1 with what he's trying to do with Spectral Vision. Man, everybody's out there calling him White Vision. It's not White Vision. Y'all, please do just a little bit of research, a small Google search, and you'll see the West Coast Avengers. He is Spectral Vision. Call the man by his right name is all I'm saying.
Spectral Vision, get some. There it is, right there. Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
That is. What's up with Hayward? Why does he hate? Why does he hate?
See,
people so much?
I'm trying to figure that out too. But his explanation that he gave to Monica was, you people that blipped, you don't know what that 5 years was like. It was so dark. It was a nightmare. I'm like, okay, Nightmare. That's a breadcrumb drop right there because, Nightmare has a lot of ties to Wanda in the original storyline. Now, obviously, the MCU likes to twist things in the wrong way, and I commend Feige for that. The same thing that I try to do when I pull worlds together in my own fan fiction. And that's what this is. Let's be real. We know Feige is a huge fan of the comics. Most people don't know, but the motherfucker was on the team when the first X-Men movie came out way back in the day. So he's been into this shit for a while. He loves these comics. He grew up with them just like a lot of us did. So he's just putting his own little spin on stuff and tying all these words together. And it's going great, and Hayward right now, he gives me a real strong Purifiers vibe. And not just the Purifiers, but also the Friends of Humanity. And if you've watched like the X-Men 90s show, you know about the Friends of Humanity. If you read the comics, you know about the Purifiers. The Purifiers is a group that was run by William Stryker. In the movies, William Stryker was a military guy, but in the original comics, he was a preacher, a very bigoted preacher when it came to mutants. And the way Hayward speaks about, quote unquote, superpowered individuals and thinking they have, silly, quirky nicknames and whatnots. He's giving me that vibe of the Purifiers. So I feel like, part of our breadcrumbs that we're getting in our introduction to the X-Men is Hayward. But, to bring the worlds together, Hayward might also be working with Stryker in just a different sect of the military. And they've been planning this shit. We thought Vision was stolen by Wanda, but that's not the case. He faked that footage. Yeah. And there's a reason.
Lied about it.
Yeah. He was trying very hard to get Monica on his side. And the only reason he did that, I think, was so he didn't have to give up his position, because once the higher ups, I think, start looking at things and they knew Monica had come back from the blip, they would have put Monica in charge. Maybe. Because that was basically her role. No, I mean, the proof is in the pudding in that first episode where we saw them and they were having that conversation. And he said, after, the blip happened and then your mom died, I got put in charge. And he said, that there really wasn't anyone else for the job. And Monica was like, well, I didn't want to say it because I'm pretty sure they would have chosen Monica just on the strength. I mean, not just because of her mom, but Monica clearly has already proven herself.
Well, she was been groomed for that from day one. Her mom started the whole thing, and she was groomed for
exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think she would have outranked Hayward. And if you really pay attention to the behind the scenes timelines with Hayward, all of that research shit, how they changed it to, like their weapons making instead of just observing things that were coming in, that happened after Maria died. There's a reason that Hayward is doing that shit, and he couldn't do any of it until Maria actually died, because Maria would have blocked him from doing that.
Exactly, because that's his true intention. He's trying to get on that. Or is he being twisted to do that? He said, you don't know what it took to keep the lights on. Like, you don't know what it took. Like, it was something major or evil or something desperate, like something desperate, like selling your soul to Mephisto to make sure things keep going. Like, we don't know how far it's going. But yeah, the way they flipped up like that and slipped that in, that was too much. And what I also
that's the proof right there.
What's that?
No, that's the proof right there. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead.
And then the way, like, when Wanda slipped up, went in there and wanted to go see Vision himself, and like our man Jay was saying, he was looking 50-50 when he was talking to Wanda about Vision. When he went in there, like, one of the main things he said is, not all of us have the power to bring our loved ones back online.
He said that on purpose. He said that on purpose. He wanted to trigger her. That whole time, you can tell he wanted to trigger her. But she was strong for that shit.
But do you think that there's the one thing I haven't heard anybody talking about? Like, do you think there's, the way he said that, the way it kind of hit me was like he lost a loved one. And what if he lost a loved one like that was in Sokovia when Wanda blew up the place, trying to, they're trying to do good, but a lot of innocent people died. And the way he hates superpowers like that and like seems to specifically hate Wanda, I'm like, was his wife in that building? Did she accidentally kill her
right
wife?
There?
And she's like, we don't have the power. We don't all have the power to bring our loved ones back. Like, you killed my wife, so now I'm about to take yours. Like, that's the feeling I got from it.
I'm gonna toss a drink up to you for that one. Yes.
I've not heard anybody else talk about that or say anything
I fully believe that's what it is. Sense. There's a small tidbit, if you remember, and actually, people know the actress Alfre Woodard from playing the role of Black Mariah on Luke Cage. But before that, if you rewind, Iron Man 2, no, was it Iron Man 2 with Ultron?
The Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron. When Tony first, got on board with the Sokovia Accords, there after that little show he did, that funded all those young, future engineers projects and whatnots. When he went downstairs to get onto like the private elevator, there was a woman there. That woman, I don't remember the character's name, but she was played by Alfre Woodard. And she said, my son was over in Sokovia doing volunteer work. And then all this shit happened. And supposedly the Avengers came in and saved everybody. And then they went back home. But everyone else had to deal with that destruction. Her son was in Sokovia doing volunteer work.
Absolutely.
And he died in all of that. And that shit hit her heart. So I agree with you. I fully believe that, Hayward absolutely could have lost somebody, and this is his retaliation. I mean, what's the motherfucker's name with the purple mask?
Bell Zemo or Zemo or whatever.
Yeah, Zemo. That was his whole motivation. He lost his family in Sokovia too. Mm-hmm. So it stands on that theme. You don't get a deep hatred like that for a specific group of people unless either you're brainwashed on some bullshit or some serious trauma has affected you from that.
Exactly. I mean, these are superheroes that save the world. And deep down, you know they're trying to do right. It's just them doing right.
But you can't deal, right. You can't deal with your loss. You know, that's still something that personally hit your soul. So yeah, you salty about it. You can't really blame anybody, but the human mind just works in weird ass ways, especially when it comes to grief and mourning someone you've lost. So you're going to put that blame wherever you can find a connection to put it. And for a lot of folks, that's with the Avengers. And even in case of Monica, and I'll go into that later once we actually get to Monica, you could possibly put that on Carol Danvers also. There's an interesting dynamic that I think is there. But I found the clip that I was looking for.
Okay.
So let me transition to this, and I will hit play.
Oh.
And hopefully y'all hear it.
Oh, I'm done, man. I'm out of here. Gonna go get me some coffee. Already done, man. This is a Trapaholics mixtape. Son, watch your
And I killed Sparky too.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I heard that like last week, very shortly after the episode, and I hit my man's up. His name is Leland Philpott. I will actually post his Twitter link in the chat in a moment. But yeah, I hit him up on Twitter. I was like, bro, can I like play that mix on one of my streams? And he was like, of course, please do, and thank you. So yeah, I'm playing that probably for a few months because I just love how that mix flows.
Oh, definitely. You know, there's going to be a whole bunch more coming too because yeah, WandaVision's taking over the world right now. #1 show out. Everybody's got it. Yeah, absolutely. This is so sweet. Like, how'd you like the way they opened up this week, way back in the Salem witch trials, and she was sent to death for playing with magic above her age and station with her mom, like it was the darkest of magic. What is the darkest of magic? Is she out here trying to resurrect the dead? Like, what magic could be so taboo and her own mother is trying to sentence her to death?
I am wondering that myself. I mean, clearly, if you're being put on a witch trial, and it's by just a random townsfolk and, whoever the preacher of the village is, that very easily could just be misconstrued of them being superstitious, and they're probably wrong about their assumption of you. But this is her own coven that is putting her on her mama. So clearly Agatha was fucking with some dangerous shit that did not need to be messed with. If your own people are going to take that stance, then yeah, I think that absolutely needs to be looked at. And ma'am, maybe you really do need to have all the seats and not be doing the shit that you've been doing.
I mean,
like if they went that hard to try to stop you, like they all literally died trying to stop you. And I am very curious about that blue magic crown that came up on Mommy Witch's head at the end of it. I kind of still was yelling at the screen when I watched, like, bitch, you see she just killed like all of your coven. Why are you really trying to test her right now? She's saying she could be good and whatnot. It don't matter. She ain't gonna be good, but stop because you're about to die. But
Well, she said, she's like, I can be good, Mom. She's like, no, you can't. And if you notice, mom's beam wasn't in with all the others. She was like kind of sitting back. Hey, I see out there.
I think she wanted to see what would happen with it. I think she probably had a suspicion to the power level that her daughter had risen to, and she needed to see whether she did need to pull the crown out or not. But it turns out, even when you did, you were still defeated because of the shit that Agatha was fucking with.
Right, because I think she was still in turmoil. I think she didn't want to see what was going on because when she said, it's like, I can be good, and she's like, no, you can't. What if her mom was actually the Scarlet Witch and she wanted her daughter to take over the mantle, but now she's seeing that that's not going to happen because she went the evil way, so she's not going to be worthy of taking over the mantle. Like, what if when Wanda saw that later on, it wasn't her that she was seeing in the future, it was Agnes's mom. She was actually the Scarlet Witch, basically coming to pass the mantle to her because she's worthy.
My only thing with that is what I've seen the MCU doing, and this goes back even to Doctor Strange and all of the priests that are in that order. Magic is very color coded in their world, and if I don't know if anybody ever watched Once Upon a Time, magic and the person that uses that magic has a specific color code. Like the Blue Fairy from Pinocchio, her magic was blue. Regina Mills, who was the evil queen in the Snow White stories, her magic was purple. Her sister, who ended up being the Wicked Witch of the West from the Oz stories, her magic was green. And I think that's what Marvel is doing right now. Scarlet Witch, her powers are red. Her son, when we saw his powers finally manifest, they were blue, which was the same shade of blue actually as Agatha's mom. So I think there are different levels the way they're tying magic in with these characters. And I think that's what we're going to see, and how they differentiate who's throwing what hex in the middle of doing things.
That's the easiest way when everybody's throwing magic at each other.
Yeah.
See what it is.
So I don't
like that. Like blue's one level, and then maybe purple's a level up, and then red's like God level. Like that's all the way up.
Or not even different levels, but just different types of core magic.
Different stuff.
Like from the way I read it, well, the way I watched it, it seemed like Wanda had already been born with magic in her blood. So I'm sure there were, some ancestor that she had what was into the witchery, and that's passed down genetically, which fits because mutants, X-Men, that gene is passed on in their DNA. Like you're born that way. So let's say she did, like Agatha said, cast a little hex that she didn't know she was casting because she was too young, and her parents had never, schooled her on anything like that happening. She didn't get to go to Hogwarts like everyone else. So she didn't know that's what was happening. She thought, the shit was just a dud. And
she was acting on instinct. Wasn't that the greatest reveal?
Right. But then, again, back to Harry Potter, the wand chooses the wizard. Once she got in front of the Mind Stone, it recognized the power in her, the potential that she might have, and it amplified that. She was already a witch. She already had the mutant gene. And the Mind Stone just amplified all of that to its fullest extent. And the fullest extent was she can totally be a vessel for the Scarlet Witch. Or she'll be the Scarlet Witch reincarnated. However it goes. We haven't been told how that actually weaves into everything. But I don't think it's a fluke. I think she was absolutely born this way. And it was just meant to happen like that.
Yeah. Absolute destiny. I believe that. I believe that. How'd you like how
Which is why she was able to recreate Vision also, because the Mind Stone is a part of her. So Vision also has that connection to the Mind Stone. So that's where that manifestation came out. In my opinion.
I almost think she went in and tapped him, and when she touched him, she almost basically sucked up his essence. And then when she went back out there, basically let his essence back out. And she didn't. Oh boy, thought he was going to steal Vision, but she didn't steal his body. She basically stole his core, his essence, his whatever. It's like soul, so to speak, and then came back out and recreated it. Like, and basically somehow he knew he was going to be able to do that. Because remember earlier when they were looking, they weren't tracking Wanda. He was tracking Vision. So how did he know to tracking Vision if Wanda's the one who's actually the one who made it? He must have known all this going into it.
That's the thing. There's a lot of things that need explaining in that whole situation. Like right now, all we can do is speculate. But I don't think that she took anything from that Vision, just specifically because she did try to. You know, we saw her weaving, you know, her little wiggly woos, as you know, fake Pietro said. She said, "I can't feel you. You know, that this isn't it. I can't do anything with what's left of this husk, so I'm out."
It was an act. So I'm telling you, she was just acting for him. She went in there, snaked out his soul, went out and went, boom, I got my boy back.
In that form of grief, I don't think that's possible for her, because one keynote that I think Feige was very good in showing in the TV show is Wanda's magic sometimes reacts without her knowing, and that's a proven fact from the comics. So when she's in that throe of grief and she literally has no one, like seriously, Avengers, yo, why the fuck did none of y'all come and give this woman a fucking hug? Yeah. Seriously, like she's alone. She literally has no one left in this world that's truly tied to her heart, like everyone else that she has lost. So she got to that pivotal moment, and as all humans do, when things get that heavy, we break. That's really just human nature. And her magic,
though, the whole world was broken.
Her heart wanted. Yeah.
They had a whole world that just snapped back that they had to deal with. That's a lot.
Yes. And that little bit of the mind stone that was within her, that's what helped create Vision. Because I'm really speculating. We've never heard anything about vibranium deteriorating. I really want to know if that is even possible. For as strong and magical as a metal as vibranium, I really want to know
when did it deteriorate?
What it takes for that to happen. It's very interesting to look at.
When did it deteriorate?
Hayward. No, it wasn't Hayward, but Darcy, when she found that Hayward was tracking Vision in the Hex, she said that he's tracking degrading vibranium, and that's how he's keeping eyes on Vision. But first of all, how does vibranium even deteriorate? Like, is that even possible? One. And two, we saw that wasn't actually Vision's body. It came from the Mind Stone that was, you know, those remnants of the Mind Stone that were still within Wanda. So what the fuck was he actually tracking to keep eyes on Vision? Or was that just a made up program that he put in there to, if he was found out, maybe he actually thought that far ahead in the game and he needed some type of decoy programming or something for somebody to find.
It could be. I mean,
I'm just saying,
Wanda is Wanda even
that metal can deteriorate, and he's not made of that metal. So how the fuck is he getting tracked?
Is Vision was Wanda able to recreate vibranium? Is that Vision even made of vibranium?
That's the question right there, and we don't have that answer yet.
I don't think he's made of vibranium.
I can't say that the chick just really created that vibranium, but I guess maybe because it isn't a pure source from Wakanda, that it can't survive outside the Hex. I don't know. It's weird. Red, what's good, man?
Good to see you out there, Walrus. Yeah, that's just it. The way he came apart, I mean, we can see he can't live outside the Hex. I mean, does that mean the kids can't live outside the Hex either? Are the little ones basically stuck inside?
I think the kids are different. I think the kids are different specifically because they have that biological tie to Wanda. I think that's also going to come into play later, but we might not actually even see that get wrapped up by the end of this episode. Because, you know, WandaVision, while it is its own contained sideline story, it is also the precursor to a lot of different things that are about to be happening in the MCU. You know, it's going to be Captain Marvel 2, the Loki show, in all their different jumping around to different realities and again multiverses, and also Doctor Strange 2. So there's a lot going on in this web that has to be taken into account, and it's not all going to be solved in the last episode. I hope people realize that we're not going to get all of the answers. We're going to get some tasty breadcrumbs, but not all of it is going to be wrapped up. Night, JD, my brother, hurt you.
Hope we'll see you back here, JD, but if not, we'll definitely catch you on the next one. So do you think the twins make it through this next episode? Do they make it through the finale?
See, that's a hard one. I don't. My ultimate, want, I guess, for the twins is that they are not going to make it through this episode in the form they're in now. I think there's a screenshot up that's been passed around, from the MCU of Vision, Wanda, and the boys looking like they're like in fighting stances and getting ready to go in for whatever battle they're about to have to face. I don't think the kids are going to be that age for long. I do think we're going to see them morph into their teenage forms, and probably in their actual comic book costumes in the middle of this fight, or at least close to the end of the third act of the episode. I don't think we're going to see those kids in that form for too much longer on screen. They're going to have to upgrade to their older selves because, again, this is a gateway to a lot of different things that are coming. Young Avengers are already being set up. Miss Marvel has a TV show in line. Riri Williams has Ironheart. She has a show in line. We have what's my girl's name? Was it Kate Bishop? The next Hawkeye. She's in line. Ant-Man's daughter. She was aged up specifically so she could be a part of the Young Avengers that's coming. And if you know your comics, Young Avengers also includes Speed and Wiccan. So those boys, I think we may see them die, or quote unquote die, but they wouldn't have had them there and already have laid the foundation and given us the information that the Young Avengers were coming if those two kids were not going to be in that. There's no way that we won't see them again. They might die in the forms that they're in now, but they'll be back. They're not going to be gone forever.
Are we going to see Agatha fight against them, or is Agatha just going to bounce, disappear, and be out?
No, I mean, she very well might if a larger fight comes up, but I think it's basically going to be Vision versus Spectral Vision, Wanda, and maybe Agatha, not Agatha, but Wanda and Photon, Monica, against Agatha, and fake Quicksilver. He's going to be woken up out of his trance. I don't think he is the Fox version of Quicksilver, but I do think he's still another Quicksilver in another world in the multiverse. And once he's woken up and pulled out of Agatha's reach, I think he's also going to join the fight, and he might be fighting with the aged up Wiccan and Speed against damn it, what the hell's his name? Hayward. Whoever else is coming in? Yeah, I don't think it's just going to be Spectral Vision that Hayward sends in. I think he's going to find a way to send other folks in, and all tinfoil though. I could be totally wrong about all this shit, but
I think
there's definitely going to be a huge battle.
I definitely think you're onto a lot of things, especially about the because I love how Agnes just basically trolled everybody about Pietro, if you will, and necromancy was a no-go because your real brother was on another continent. Straight troll.
So, I felt bad for Wanda in that episode, but game recognized game, and I appreciate a small amount of petty sometimes. Agatha read Wanda for fucking filth that whole damn episode. And I cannot say that I did not chuckle at some of her jabs. And the chick was real. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, she held
And I
it
do
out.
think what Christian Cole is saying, I do think Doctor Strange will show up in the finale. First of all of this hex shit that's happening, Agatha is only there because she sensed that powerful magic. And this has only been, from what we're seeing, I think the timeline has only been about, this is like 2-3 weeks after everything from Endgame.
It's only 9
And
days, isn't it?
it's what?
Isn't this only 9 days later?
Yeah, it's not, yeah. There's not a lot of time that's gone through since Endgame, and for the time how it's been spent in the hex, I think it's only maybe been a week and a half. So
Or I
first of
think it's
all,
been 5 weeks since the flip and like
Yeah.
9 days since she built the hex.
yeah. So Agatha has felt all this powerful magic, and she came down to investigate. But we've been in the hex for days. We know Doctor Strange is very keen on sensing a disturbance in the Force. And we know that from Thor when they had to go ask him about their dad missing. Because they didn't really even know where to go. He sent them a card and said, yo, come to this place.
Right.
I know y'all are here. I can help you. And then when they got there, okay, so you're not over here trying to kill us. You ain't doing this fuck shit. You just looking for your dad. Okay, here, I'm gonna tell you where he is and how to do the whatnots. And he did his little portal thing and sent them off on their way. So how has this gone on for this long, and Doctor Strange has not sensed it?
Because
What else is going on in the world?
reality.
No, see, I
would
don't
say that.
think it's just a different reality. I'm wondering what else is going on in the world that is keeping his attention that he hasn't noticed this for a week happening.
Oh, are you kidding me? The entire world just got blipped back. The entire world is in chaos. So there's a million things, but I don't even think he's on this plane. I think he's in a different reality because I think that's what they're telling us is we have alternate mirrored realities going on. I think they've dropped a ton of hints throughout this series that that's happening. And I believe fake Pietro I think he is another Pietro. He's like, 1 minute I'm out in the street getting shot up like a chump, and the next thing I'm here. I don't think he was lying when he was talking about that trick or treat story. I think that all happened to him in his timeline and his reality, and he's gotten sucked over to this one.
See, and not only that, but I have a random dark theory about Pietro. When and not even that specific Pietro, but the Aaron Taylor Thomas Pietro. What if we saw from what Agatha shed a light on? Wanda did that hex on the on Stark's bomb, and she didn't really even know it. What if she did something similar with Pietro? What if Pietro actually died, but her, loving sister, grieving heart, they just lost their parents. She couldn't actually deal with that. And again, I'll remind you, Wanda's magic does shit sometimes when she doesn't know. Yes, and it just recreated Pietro as a child.
It could have. We never know. You got timelines and all multiple realities. We have no idea what's happening. Exactly. But the fact that Strucker had them in the lab and we're doing all those other tests on them, it seems like something would have struck back then. That's
what I'm saying though. Yes, we in Iron Man 2, we saw that it was Pietro and Wanda in there. But for this show, they, for as much, what I'm saying is for as much as tied as Pietro and Wanda are, why would they not also have shown a bit of Pietro's journey or showed her doing some type of spell protecting Pietro when he went in to the Mind Stone? The way they had it set up looked very different from how we saw in the beginning of Age of Ultron. They didn't make any, qualms. All they said was, no one else has survived this, and we see her. That's it.
Saw him try to
talked about Pietro to pull that little breadcrumb in.
But we never saw Pietro try to touch it or go near it. Like they didn't touch on that, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but that could just be tied in because this is called WandaVision, not Pietro Vision.
but Pietro is already on the show, is what I'm saying. Like, and Agatha's going through her memories of everything that happened, but within that, as powerful as it was that her and her brother were the only survivors, why would they not show, and they did just a little tidbit showing her messing with her, powers and the TV being on while she's watching. Why would you not do like just a little blurb, a little voiceover, or even pan the camera over a bit to the cell that was supposed to be next to hers where her brother was? So I think it's possible, well, to me, again, tinfoil,
Absolutely.
that she recreated her brother and brought him along. So, of course, Strucker has him on the books because they think that's a real person. And then we get to, the Age of Ultron, and Pietro dies, and Wanda literally looks like a part of her was killed. She completely broke down and felt all of that pain. I get it, because I know a lot of twins, and I know sometimes they do actually feel things wrong with each other. But the way she reacted, how heavy that loss was, it really just reads, it reads to me now that she literally lost a part of herself, because that was a part of herself.
Yep.
Random dark theory, and again, it's tinfoil. I'm probably wrong, but I find it interesting to think about.
Nice. Well, welcome, Julian T. And Julian T says Agatha said Wanda's magic is on autopilot. It created the hex, it brought back Vision. It more than likely pulled Evan Peters from the Foxman universe as the closest thing to her brother nearby. I like that.
See, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Wanda's magic reacts sometimes when she doesn't know what's happening. But again, I'll say I don't think that's the Fox X-Men Evan Peters. I think it's just another Evan Peters Quicksilver from a different universe. And he was probably the one that Agatha pulled in because nobody would miss him, is what I'm thinking. She could pull him. No one in that universe would miss him, which means his sister and his family are probably gone. Perhaps he's had the same journey that Wanda had in the reality that we know. So now he's over here and he's being controlled by Agatha / Chthon, because everybody's been saying Mephisto and Nightmare. Nightmare may have something to do with it. The Grim Reaper may have something to do with it because we've seen his helmet in one of the intros. But I think it's going to fall back to Chthon, who is the demon god that actually gave Wanda her powers in the first place when she was a child.
I got that. What's up, Nixie? I see you out there. Good to see you. And you definitely need to catch up on some WandaVision. It's amazing.
Yes, indeed. We ain't seen Nix in the chats in a while, man. It's always good when you pop up. Welcome.
Always. But yeah, get on that because you will not be disappointed. It is a fun show to watch. We love it.
And yet, Julian T, to your point, Agatha said she only took control of him, though. That's right. She took control of another Pietro, not the Peter from the Fox universe, but an actual Pietro that just so happens to look like the Evan Peters Fox universe character. Think about that. We're going into the multiverse. That's how this all works. So she doesn't have just the Fox universe to pull from. There's an infinite amount of realities that she could have pulled from. She just happened to find the right one.
Yeah, like you said, that's the closest and easiest one could be. And we know, the more she's pushing out, the weaker she's getting. We already see what's happening to the people on the edge. They're stuck and frozen in loops and crying and miserable and probably ready to lose their mind. Like, it's not a good thing. Like, they're going to have to touch on that because
not at all.
That's evil.
See, and that's another thing that I remember. I think it was Banner when they were first working on like making their own Infinity Glove so they can go back, do the time loop-de-loo and get everything, and Hulk can do the snap. He said that every time they use the stones, or every time the stones are used, there's like a massive wave of gamma radiation that goes out through the universe and I think through the multiverse for where we're headed. And that changes everything. I think that plus the hex is what they're using right now anyway as like Terrigen Mist from the Inhumans. So Monica has already been working in space, and we know that specifically because that episode where her and Hayward first talked, Hayward said that your mom had implemented this rule that if anyone returns from all the disappearances that just happened, they're not allowed to go on non-Terran missions for such and such amount of time. I don't remember what the time is, and I'm not sure that non-Terran is the exact word he used, but basically they're grounded to Earth. They can't go up in space and do anything, and that's what that's what Monica was doing. Her DNA was already changing because of whatever missions and the radiation in space that she was gathering. She already had, again, tinfoil, she already had the mutant X gene. It was just amplified by her going out in space and getting that radiation and then coming back and going through the hex, not just once, but twice. And her whole DNA has just, she already had that absorption power to where she takes these things in and her body just rearranges and deals with it. It's like, what's his fucking name? Corvinus from the Underworld movies. His people got a disease that only he survived because his DNA was able to take that disease and change it to whatever it needed to be to make him stronger. His sons ended up being one of the most powerful, werewolf creators and one of the most powerful vampire creators. But that's the same thing.
I think Wanda knew exactly. I think Wanda already knew that she had something going on. Like maybe when her mom was going through all those tests, she said she knew all about cells and tests. She might have tried to donate plasma or blood to her mom, and the doctors back then might have been like, "There's something up with you." So she did not flinch when they told her that. She's like, one more time and you're done, and you're already changing it. She didn't budge. So,
and that is my number one. Yeah, that is my number one reason why I think Monica already had powers, and she knew she had those powers because she was not phased at all, like you said, And I think that's might be part of the. It seems like it's heavy anger, but I think it's more grief and sadness because the way her mutant X gene was activated was one, not only being around Carol, but also working in space. She could have just came back down to Earth and gave her mom a hug and boom, cancer cells start, and not, everybody doesn't, react to radiation waves the exact same way. And I think that happens. And the way Monica reacted when Captain Marvel was brought up, it seemed like she, maybe had a bad taste in her mouth or just had ill will about it. But I saw an interview with is Tiana Taylor? Is Taylor her last name? I don't remember. But her first name is Tiana. That's the actress that plays Monica. The question was specifically asked, what's the beef with Captain Marvel? Like what's going on there? Why did Monica look so bothered when her name was brought up? And I'm slightly ad-libbing. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the chat. Y'all go check out the interview for yourself and draw your own conclusions. But what I got, her response was something to the effect of, "Oh, you think it's anger? Okay, well, there is something there. Stay tuned, though."
Right. I think it's going to be something like her mom went up with Captain Marvel to do it, and instead of Captain Marvel keeping her mom from doing it, there's no way she could have stopped her, and her mom probably ended up getting cancer from that certain situation, and Monica maybe holds it against her some bit, or maybe holds it against her that Captain Marvel couldn't find a cure, something like that. I think it's going to be some kind of deal with that.
That is definitely one lane. But what I think it is, and I think it shows a lot in Monica's actions, is there's a large amount of grief there. That, she has lost her mother, and we knew that she had grandparents in Captain Marvel, but they weren't mentioned, this far down the line, so the many years that have gone by. So I'm assuming that they're probably gone too. So Monica is truly alone, just like Wanda.
Oh, she was, yeah.
And that's why I think it was it Wu that asked, like, why do you care so much? Monica didn't answer, but I think she cares that much because she recognizes the same grief that she has and is dealing with in Wanda. All the stuff that Wanda is doing isn't coming from a malicious heart at all. Right. She really is just trying to be happy and deal with her grief.
Yeah, and that's what commercials are kind of telling you.
And Monica sees that grief, and it could be manifested as anger, but it's really coming from a place of sadness. Yep. So, Monica sees that, and because she can recognize that, she's going all gung-ho to try to help Wanda, not only because Wanda does need the help, but 2, it distracts her from her own grief.
And 3, it's going to help maybe save the world from being completely taken over by reality. Julian T. Exactly. Remember when Pietro showed up, we heard that breach alarm in the sword base. I think Scarlet Witch brought him through, but when he crossed the barrier, it changed and became Pietro. That's interesting. Came through the right way, but when he went through the barrier, it changed him. I like that. Where did Pietro come from? And Julian says, what if he was brought into this reality outside the hex, but when he crossed it, it was changed him, so low-mo speed became the blue lines of his realities, Pietro, but when the hex is gone. Huh. I just think they did that. Like I said, I think we're talking about mirrored realities. I think those rings that they show at the end of the show is alternate realities, basically linked together. And I think with those alternate realities, that's how we're going to get some people that are going to end up showing up in this finale. And I think that's how they're going to be able to bring the X-Men, or at least explain the X-Men. Like, why weren't the X-Men there fighting all these times when the Earth was in trouble? Well, because they were in a different reality, and that's how they're going to cross them over.
Do you follow Comics Explained, or have you heard of him?
I've heard of him, and I've watched a lot of his stuff. I've listened to the House of M, but I don't know a ton about comics.
Yeah. Okay, so he came up with he did a couple series. I think it was only maybe 4 or 5 videos. I wish he would have continued, but he didn't. Of how the X-Men universe could be brought into the MCU, and one of the things that he thought of was the X-Men were there the whole time, but Charles Xavier, better known as Professor X, he is a very, very powerful telepath. But he seeing the danger that mutants were in, he made it be in everyone's mind that mutants were never a thing. No one knows who they are, and he's just blocked any access, that people would have known to that mutants are a thing. But coming up now with all this extracurricular issues that are coming, Doctor Strange comes in, and he also has just the extra magic powers, and he figures out, okay, wait, hold on, there's a bunch of motherfuckers that I'm getting feelings from. My spidey senses are tingling, but nobody knows who these assholes are. Let me go investigate. And he has a talk with Charles Xavier, and some random accord comes between them. But once all of the Thanos and multiverse shit happens, they can't hide anymore. Yeah. So that's where things start trickling in.
I mean, they're supposed to be superheroes, and that doesn't explain. Even though we might not know about them, they know they exist. Why weren't they out there helping when all this was going down? Especially at Dark Phoenix. Are you kidding me? That alone could have helped.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Dark Phoenix was never a part of the X-Men. Like, if you remember the full run, it didn't just go from Jean being possessed by the Phoenix right into Dark Phoenix. That if you've been watching the Fox movies, X-Men: The Last Stand and the damn Phoenix one, what was not the T. Okay, that's not how it happened. That was a gradual buildup over time. When the Phoenix finally came, when Jean was actually ready to accept the Phoenix and be that vessel, she was good for a long run, many years. that Jean and the Phoenix were in the X-Men, they did a whole bunch of good for, you know, regular humans and mutant kind. I don't remember what it was that actually happened that turned her to the Dark Phoenix, but there was definitely a buildup there, and no story that Fox has put out yet has actually covered what
they
really
got
happened.
timeline issues is what they have, but
Yeah.
maybe they're jumping through
Their
Mr.
continuity
Strange.
is almost as messy as the freaking DCEU.
Yeah. So maybe they're jumping through some Doctor Strange reality loops. What speaking of Doctor Strange, who do you think's gonna cameo? I think we're gonna get a Doctor Strange cameo. I think we might even get a Samuel Jackson cameo, and I think we might even get a Magneto cameo.
See, the number 1-2 people that everyone's saying is Patrick Stewart. You know, long live Captain Picard. It's my boy.
So
Take a drink on that.
Professor X, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. And the other one everybody thinks might be Magneto. I don't think it will work that way. One, because we're in a pandemic, and I love both those gentlemen, but they are up in the age and at very high risk for what's going on. Also, Patrick Stewart has already said, like publicly, he doesn't want to do it just because of how strongly his character ended in the Logan movie.
Right, but it doesn't necessarily have to be Patrick Stewart.
It's possible. It is possible that, you know, Feige was suave enough to get both of those guys in, but I feel like they wouldn't debut those bigger characters on the TV show, just like I don't think we'll see Reed Richards on the TV show. And everyone's wondering who the aerospace engineer Monica was talking about is. I think it's her homie that she met in the Captain Marvel movie. I don't remember her name, but Talos' daughter. I think it might be her. It's either her
or reveal is going to be is that it's a Skrull.
Yeah, a Skrull. Yeah, it's either her or maybe Adam Brashear. Like you know, for the Skrull thing, if you go back and watch that scene where Hayward is talking to that lady officer that's next to him, where he starts talking about, you know, we launch tomorrow and whatnot, there was a small bit of conversation before that, and she gave him a side eye. It was only like 2 or 3 seconds. Like, bro, what the fuck you? What you mean? Why are we doing this? So that seems a little bit suspect to me. Again, I could be wrong.
Well, old girl said old girl that Monica went and saw. She said that your mom wasn't the only one we're basically all loyal to. So she could have been doing a double take, and maybe like she's got all of Hayward's people that are all still loyal to them, and they might all flip on Hayward in the end because they're like, man, you're shady as hell right now. You're sideways.
Exactly. That's how they probably. But my favorite theory on the subject of who the secret person is, though, is that Paul Bettany has just, you know, risen and moved beyond Macy Williams from Game of Thrones, you know, Arya Stark troll levels.
Right.
If y'all remember, you know, Arya used to be putting out a whole bunch of bullshit on Twitter just to get people riled up and see what random leaks they might believe.
That could be. I mean, he might have been talking about himself, just doing the.
That's what I'm saying. I think Paul was talking about himself with Ultravision. Well, no, not Ultra. Spectral Vision.
Yeah, he could have. What's up, Chris Cassidy out there? Welcome back.
Yo, Chrissy of Allstone, sis, what's good?
But T out there says, on another note, do you think that SpectraVision will have nanotech capabilities? Hayward said he talked on they switched robotics into nanotech. So we might be seeing Vision up there going to fight Vision, and all of a sudden he goes Ant-Man small or Ant-Man big. That'd be kind of a trip. Wouldn't see that coming, really.
See, that's the thing, though. By that time, when Vision was created, Ant-Man was not a thing with their group yet. So the PIM particles and whatnot, other stuff, I don't think that would have been involved.
He is now. I mean, they know about him, and now that he's in charge, like they knew about him when the snap happened.
Well, see, but we have to try to take into account the body that we saw that was pulled apart. I'm not convinced that was actually Dead Vision's body.
How could it be? What'd they do? Give him a spray paint? Dead Vision was great.
That's what I'm saying.
They gave him a paint job before they brought him up and then cut him up. Come on.
Yes. Yeah. See, you on my wavelength. You on my wavelength. That's what I'm saying. That, Vision's dead body in Wakanda went completely pale purple. Like beyond lavender shades of gray.
Dead gray.
So how the hell was he in this lab? That the machine, the regular human machines, are even able to cut through when he's supposed to be made of vibranium, and he was completely grayed out when we saw him die. The only reason Thanos was able to pull that shit from him and cave that little hole in his skull was because Thanos has that strength to do. Regular human machines ain't gonna be able to cut through that. I'm sorry. Vibranium is even more sustainable than adamantium in the Marvel universe. So first of all, again, how does vibranium deteriorate? 2, what the fuck was that vision that Hayward showed Wanda? Because it didn't look right to me. And 3, why would Shuri and T'Challa let Sword come and get the body of Vision without talking to Wanda first?
They were gone. They both got blinked out.
That doesn't make sense. When everybody came back, okay, even if they were blinked out, they didn't show their mom on there. I don't think it would have gone down like that. It feels like there's just too many things in the meantime that we don't know to why any replication of Vision was shown.
I mean, remember, like at the end of Black Panther, he was opening up Wakanda to everybody. So if he's opening up and he's trying to become, kind of opening up to like swords and shields and everybody else, maybe they already had some kind of pact, and they're like, well, we need to take the Vision because so it might have been something like that. Might have been the reason. And if they're blipped out at the time that it happened, they wouldn't have been there to say no.
See, I see. Yeah, I totally see where that could happen. It just, the way people of Wakanda are, especially with their tech, it's surprising. Even if they didn't show Queen Ramonda, shout out Angela Bassett. Damn it, she is still snacking. She can get it right now. I don't think they would have just that easily been able to remove him. I mean, look at the lengths they went to keep Bucky safe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It just doesn't make sense that Wakanda would let some foreigners just come in and snatch up something that's made from their core
$3 billion worth of vibranium.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, $3 million of vibranium. I don't see that happening. And again, Hayward said that Vision had a will. If anyone is going to respect the will of the dead, it's going to be Wakanda. They have a whole afterlife based on this shit.
Right.
So why would they just let Vision's body be taken like that? It just doesn't add up to me. There's something hinky there.
Julian T says, not Pimtech, Iron Man's nanotech, like the suit that he had in Endgame. Do you think that they remade Vision's body out of nanotech, which means he can create different weapons out of nothing and change shape? That'd be wild. That would be wild.
That's a very interesting thought. That's a very interesting thought. But Vision has to, I think, know that he can even do that. Because like we say, Vision doesn't have any memories past waking up in Westview. And that's, for whatever reason, I think it was because Wanda, in her grief, just didn't think to pull all of that in. Because, again, with my dark theory, when it comes to Pietro still had those same memories because Wanda was there to experience all of those memories. She wasn't with Vision for maybe half that movie, so she doesn't know what he went through before Age of Ultron. That's why he doesn't have any memories past Westview. She can't fill in all the blanks, so she just cut it off at a point where he should be okay here. We're happy. We're about to celebrate our anniversary and blah, blah, blah. But damn it, Ion. You know what, Ion? Go to your room.
It's all
Go
Disney. I
to
love it. It's all Disney. They've had Vision's body for 5 years, and now they want to pull him apart. And yeah, they weren't even pulling him apart. They were in there with like chainsaws and getting it all gritty. And that was all a show for Wanda, no doubt.
That's what I'm saying. How do you even attack vibranium like that? Yeah. It's like saying that you can go up against a regular sword with a Valyrian steel sword. That just it's not possible for you to win. A Valyrian sword will slice your steel sword in half like it's freaking hot butter. How does vibranium deteriorate? I don't think that is possible. Otherwise, how does Wakanda still have a mountain full of vibranium to mine? It does not make sense. Something is going on there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no way that they're going to wrap it all up and answer all these questions.
No, that's what I'm saying. We might get some answers, but we're not going to get all of them. Where we will see some breadcrumbs is Loki, Captain Marvel 2.
Definitely show up. I think Loki could be another one.
Right. The Ironheart series and the Ms. Marvel series.
I mean, we're talking about chaos magic. Who's the king of chaos? Who's the god of chaos?
Yeah, Chthon. Yeah. No. Chthon is the god
of magic, but Loki is the king of chaos.
Loki is the Asgardian, shade of chaos. But those are two very different things. And Chthon, again, is credited with giving Wanda, some of his powers to control chaos magic. But I don't think he would have been able to do that if she didn't have the mutant X gene to handle it.
Could be. When Wanda touched the stone, she saw Loki's silhouette. That wasn't a future her. That was Loki coming back. That'd be hilarious. I would love that. That'd be amazing.
That would be hilarious. Jake says, is Loki dead? Technically, the Loki we saw in Infinity War is dead. However, if you remember in Endgame, that Loki that got caught escaped with the Tesseract. So he's out there jumping through random timelines, and we know that because in the Loki series, he's going to be working with time variation security or something like that.
Or something like that.
Yeah, he's going to be working with them throughout different, random spectrals of time and universes. So technically, he's not dead. It's like Gamora. Gamora died in Infinity War, but in Endgame, we saw a previous version year of Gamora, and she's still out there right now.
Yep.
I think that's what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to focus on, is finding Gamora.
Oh, probably. And where'd they get the tech to take apart the vibranium? It's like they didn't. That wasn't real.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How once vibranium is formed into the thing you want it formed as, it's like adamantium, like Stryker said. If you can mine adamantium properly, you have to keep it hot and boiling in its liquid state, because once it cools and solidifies, you cannot destroy it. Adamantium is great, but vibranium is even greater. Like vibranium is like mithril levels of the MCU. You can't just cut
we have seen it crack because we saw Thanos crack the shield.
No, okay. Thanos is extraterrestrial, though. You have to be in a specific power set to be able to do something like that. And Thanos is, even without the Infinity Gauntlet. Honestly, Thanos is powerful as fuck.
But with the Infinity Gloves, he was unstoppable. Isn't Wanda supposed to be in the Multiverse of Madness movie? Absolutely.
Yes.
And that could be how they end this one. She could just go crazy, warp all of reality. Doctor Strange comes in, and that could be how they end this. Is basically her and Doctor Strange basically going into it, and Wanda could actually be one of the big bads of that movie.
See that's the thing with me. I definitely give all theories a chance, but I do, try to theorize on my own. when it comes to what we know, we're leading to the multiverse of madness. So it's going to take a lot of, Doctor Strange's time. It's going to take a lot of the monks at the different places for the Sorcerer Supreme to, help Doctor Strange and get in that. When we're talking about the multiverse and you need magic wielders to be on your side and work collectively together, Doctor Strange needs Wanda. He's going to need to come in there, and Agatha is right in only one respect. She needs training. Yes, she is very powerful. She can absolutely do her thing. She really did almost kill Thanos without interference. If the strike wouldn't have been called, Thanos would have been dead.
Yeah, but it's all instinct, and she does need training, and I think that's how they're going to play the Agatha character. I think she's like she said, she's like, you are the most powerful thing ever, and you're up here making.
Yeah, you don't know how dangerous you are. Yeah.
So basically, I think Agatha is going to maybe take the kids in balance and like, I'll be back for you later or help you, but yeah, I think Agnes is going to balance with letting her know like I'm going to be back later, and Agnes is going to end up training her how to kind of wield the magic a little better.
I think that's a slight bit too extra, just a slight bit. I don't think Agatha has, good intentions at heart. She sees that power and she wants it because, like she said, you got all this damn power and this is the bullshit that you're doing. Like, do you know what I would do with all that power? I think Doctor Strange is going to come in and he's going to, eventually convince Wanda that, she does need this help that he is willing to offer. And if that happens on the show, I will be very happy because it will be very reminiscent of Professor X trying to help Wanda move past her grief of losing her fake children's in the comics. So I don't think we're going to get Professor X, but
I don't think
the situation with Wanda and actually getting her powers in check is going to come from tutelage through Doctor Strange and all of the people in his temple, and that's how he's going to get the help he needs for the multiverse.
Or Magneto, it might come back in that maybe like that wasn't really her parents, or her mom had been with Magneto or whatever before her dad, and find out that
that's probable.
Magneto's really her dad, so we'll get a Magneto sighting that comes in. But I think it might be more a Mephisto sighting coming in through a different reality. Like he's going to be the one that Hayward sold his soul to or something like that. But Jillian T wants to know, do you think Hayward is trying to create Tony's dream of a suit of armor around the world? What if he made more than one SpectroVision, like a version of Ekman's Sentinel program? I know I talked about that in one of our past streams.
DJ, what did I say at the beginning of this shit? I told y'all. And I'm glad that I'm not the only one that thinks it. Hayward wants his own Sentinel program. This is the Sentinel Mach 1 for Hayward. That I am fully in agreement with that. But what I think Hayward is going to find is that measure of vision that he has isn't the vision that he was trying to activate. It's not just a mindless automaton. If you pay attention and you look, when it actually comes online, there's a smirk that crosses his face. But that smirk doesn't get there until he raises his right hand and flexes. Ultron lost his left hand in that battle at Civil War. No, not Civil War, but Age of Ultron. So he's looking at his hand like, oh, finally I'm whole again. And when Spectral Vision speaks, I would not be surprised if it was that same voice.
James Spader. Oh, it 100% is going to be. Because I was looking for something online the other day. Online the other day, and it said in all the actors on there, he's one of the actors. James Spader's name's right there. I'm like, what? He ain't been in. And I was like, oh shit, that's coming.
That is who is controlling Spectral Vision. You remember, like DJ reminded you before, there's Thor. his magic with the lightning. There's Tony with the Iron Legion and the nanobots. There's Bruce knowing how to handle gamma radiation. There's the Mind Stone, one of the most powerful things in the universe. All of these things culminate, even Ultron, to make Vision. Vision just happens to be very sentient. He's basically like Data in the Star Trek universe. And that's why he was able to become an individual.
Julian T says, I really want Agatha and Doctor Strange to battle. Powerful knowledge, witch against sorcerer supreme. Maybe he's just preparing for battle, reading the memorizing spells right now. That'd be pretty sweet. Because she does have that book. And I mean, he's got a lot of books, but she seems to have a really wicked book. So, and I think, I mean, she's definitely another reason I think Mephisto we might get like an Al Pacino or Robert De Niro Mephisto character comes up, because he said she's always talking about Ralph, her husband. I mean, we got to find out who the hell Ralph, her husband, is. And there's so many different little tweaks and twists to that. And yeah, I think basically she said that the only way Ralph would remember my anniversary is if there was a beer named June 2nd. And June 2nd was the first Salem witch trial, the first day of the Salem witch trials, where the witch got burned at the stake. So basically, I think that's how they put their twist on it. All her coven tried frying her. Mephisto basically gave her the power to fight back because she was reading the dark book, and they became one. And that's why, like, basically, that's her. They're together now. Yeah. So I think it's all going to be some twist like that.
Possible. That is very possible. Yeah, I think when it comes to Agatha, a lot of people were saying that maybe she could still be good. She's just trying to observe and stop Wanda because she's afraid of what Wanda might do. I don't buy that.
She's not good. She said, and I killed your little dog too to show you she's an evil.
And laughed. Right. Also, fun fact, that whole song, that was actually Catherine Hahn that sang that. So yeah, baby girl got pipes. But I feel like it's all just a setup. It's a bunch of red herrings going into different directions.
Like I said, I don't think they're all going to be able to get. They're not going to be able to tie it all up in one episode. I don't care if it is 50 minutes long. They got too many.
Not at all. Not at all. There will definitely be heavy and well-seasoned breadcrumbs dropped, but we're not going to tie every question up. Not at all.
Yep. Julian T says, Ultron's upload into Vision's body was interrupted in Age of Ultron, so a piece of him is still in there. They destroyed all the robots, but not Vision, so Vision is still a safety deposit box for Ultron. Absolutely, and they said that. They said he's a piece of Jarvis, he's a piece of the Mind Stone, he's a something, he's a piece of... they're all in there, so absolutely.
Yeah, all of them. And also, there is another place where they can go to get his personality. They can go to Wakanda. Shuri didn't finish everything in the download, but she finished a substantial amount.
Yeah, she got a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if they went there, they could absolutely put that back together and meld it. And from the comics, again, I'm a nerd. Sorry, I got to keep bringing it up. Vision does eventually get back to being who he was with Wanda. So this episode honestly might be a lightweight tearjerker.
Oh, it's going to be a heavy tearjerker. It's going to be sad as hell. One way or the other, somebody's going to be gone.
Yeah, if you have been watching this and you think there's going to be a happy ending, you have not been paying attention. We're going to get some juicy nuggets and some really nice crisp breadcrumbs, but this is not going to be happy. I do not think Hex Vision will merge with Spectral Vision. Agatha might be defeated, but I think this is a villain that they will not completely take out in this show. We're going to see her again, in the background of many things, I believe, just like how it was with Thanos. And I think they're going to build on a very good foundation for Secret Wars. Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, and even possibly Civil War 2. Oh, if that happens at all, there's just so many avenues.
Oh yeah,
that
you're
they
talking about multiple universes.
Breadcrumbs.
Yep, multiple universes, multiple realities. They got infinite ways they can go.
Yes.
Infinite war. Get it?
Yes.
JQ says, how many seasons we going to get and why did all these shows switch? I don't know why they're 9 to 10, but so far they're talking about there is not going to be a 1 to 2. This is just like a one-off. He said never say never, but so far there's only going to be this one season. So, and it's going to bleed right into the Doctor Strange movie. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. We're already over the hour time limit. I want to thank my special guest that came on. It's been far too long. Our girl AK. We're going to have to get her back on here again. Always so much fun. That's why we bled over because hey,
always, my brother. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me come on. It really has been way too damn long since we've been talking on a stream. Actually, I am probably going to be doing a wrap up discussion with Lauren. If you and Andy want to come on to hang with us, please, hit me up, let me know, and we'll get it scheduled.
Awesome, absolutely.
So yeah, thank you for having me on the night chat room. Always love seeing y'all. My brother JD, Jake Cruz, Julian T, Ion Trone. It was somebody else in here, Christian Coles, and Red Wars. Thank y'all for coming through.
Absolutely, Chrissy Oldstone's even making that come through on the old school. Good to see you. Good to see you, girl.
Chrissy, my sis, I forgot. Also, if you guys are bored on Friday night, check out the Citadel of Trivia channel. Me, Chrissy, and Felicia and Benjamin from Drawbridge Media will be doing some awesome trivia on the Game of Thrones content. So come through and hang with us.
There you go, just like that. Let's make it happen. All right, everybody, you already know we'll be back next Tuesday. We might do something Saturday night if we can get Andy on here, try to get some thoughts in here. But, yep, you already know we'll be on talking. And then maybe next Tuesday we'll start back at episode 1, do the rewatch. And since we know what's going to happen and show all the clues that they dropped all the way through, that'll be a blast. So can't wait to see it. We're going to keep it moving. Hope everybody's having an absolutely fantastic week. And it only gets better from here. Till we see you next time. Be easy, everybody.